Captain Marcus Chen had met 47 alien species during his 15 years exploring the Outer Rim, but none fascinated him like Zara. She belonged to the Veilani delegation stationed on Prometheus, and for 3 months she had never once removed the shimmering biomask covering the upper half of her face. The mask was a living piece of Veilani technology, shifting colors with her emotions. At that moment it glowed with soft silver patterns. Marcus had learned this meant she was content. Through the faintly translucent surface, he could only guess at her real features. "The neural interface tests are complete," Zara said in her calm, melodic voice. Standing at the main console, her long fingers moved across the floating displays with effortless skill. "Your brain patterns are fascinating." Marcus smiled and set down his mug of real earth coffee, a rare treat this far from home. "Fascinating good, or fascinating concerning?" "Fascinating beautiful," she replied without hesitation. The silver on her mask shifted to warm gold. "Your minds work in chaotic harmony, like a symphony written by madmen, but somehow it becomes extraordinary music." Moments like this made Marcus wonder what truly lay behind her mask. The Veilani were humanoid in form, but their skin shimmered with shifting colors, from pale blue to deep purple depending on the light. Zara stood nearly 7 feet tall, moving with such effortless grace that Marcus always felt clumsy around her. "The other species we've met," Marcus said carefully, "they don't hide their faces from us." The mask's colors deepened to burgundy. Embarrassment, he recognized that one. Zara turned away, focusing on a secondary display that clearly needed no attention. "My people are private," she murmured, "even with friends, especially with friends." In the weeks that followed, Marcus found himself drawn to every conversation with her. She wasn't just brilliant, though. Her grasp of quantum mechanics and dimensional theory surpassed even humanity's top scientists. She was kind. When Enan Rodriguez was injured in a maintenance accident, Zara spent 18 hours straight creating a healing compound designed specifically for human biology. "Why did you volunteer for this mixed species project?" Marcus asked one evening as they worked alone. The question had been on his mind for weeks. Her mask shifted into soft violet swirls as she considered. "I wanted to understand humans better. Your species is remarkable." "In what way?" Marcus asked. "You're the only species we've met that loves without conditions," she said softly. "The Quarians love based on genetics. The Vexri love based on intellect. The Zephyrites love based on status. But humans love despite flaws, despite differences, even when it makes no sense." Marcus felt his pulse quicken. He was sure her senses detected it. "And you find that interesting?" "I find it terrifying," she admitted. Her mask darkened to deep blue sadness, longing, "because I felt it myself." The words lingered between them like a fragile, unspoken truth. Marcus stepped closer, catching the strange scent that always clung to her like ozone after a storm, mixed with jasmine. "Zara, don't," she whispered, backing away, her hands lifting toward her mask. "I'm not asking you to do anything," Marcus said gently. "I'm only saying your name." For a long moment, silence filled the lab. The processors hummed softly, casting a blue glow, while the steady thrum of the station's gravity systems echoed in the background. "In Veilani culture," Zara said at last, "love is seen as a trade, beauty for protection, intelligence for resources, status for genetics. We're taught from birth that love is conditional, something you must earn and keep." "And you think humans are different?" Marcus asked. "I know you are," she replied. She turned fully toward him, golden amusement flickering across her mask. "You've shown me kindness with no expectation. You've shared your thoughts, your culture, even your terrible coffee without asking for anything in return. You've given me something I never believed possible. What's that? Acceptance." Marcus stepped closer. "Then why are you afraid to show me your face?" Her mask shifted wildly: fear, hope, despair, longing. Finally it settled into a pattern Marcus had never seen before, crimson streaked with silver like lightning against a red sky. "Because," she whispered, "I am not beautiful by any standard. My people call me Kellen the Broken Mirror. And while human love may be extraordinary, it is not magic." Marcus reached out slowly, covering her hands where they pressed against her mask. "Zara," he said gently, "I've spent 3 months falling in love with your mind, your kindness, your ridiculous quantum jokes, and the way you hum when you think no one hears. I've fallen for how you stay late to keep the systems perfect for everyone, and how you always remember I like my coffee too strong and my reports too long." Her mask flashed through colors too complex to name. "I've fallen in love with you," Marcus continued, "not with the face you hide. Whatever you look like, whatever scars you fear make you unlovable, they're part of who you are, and I love you." For a moment that stretched into eternity, Zara didn't move. Then, with trembling fingers, she touched the edge of her mask. The living membrane dissolved at her command, but Marcus caught his breath not from horror, but from awe. The left side of her face glowed with the opalescent beauty of her skin, while the right bore deep, intricate scars that shimmered like fractured starlight. Her left eye was the soft violet he had imagined, but her right eye was silver, artificial, luminous, and even more striking in its difference. "A childhood accident," she whispered. "I was curious about human tech. The explosion nearly killed me. Marcus traced the scarred lines gently with his finger, marveling at them. You're beautiful, he said simply. Not in spite of the scars, but because they're part of you, part of your story. The reason you're strong enough to be here, and why you understand others who feel different. Tears, real tears. So human it hurt to watch slip down her cheeks. I don't understand how you can, because love isn't about perfection, Marcus said softly. It's about seeing someone completely flaws, fears, scars, and choosing them every single day. Not because they're flawless, but because they are themselves. Zara lifted her gaze, one eye violet, the other silver. For the first time, Marcus could finally see her fully, completely. Marcus finally saw her full smile. Your species, Zara whispered, reaching up to touch his face, truly is remarkable. Later, as they stood together on the observation deck, watching the stars drift past, Zara asked quietly, what happens when this assignment ends? When we return to our own worlds. Marcus squeezed her hand, scarred, beautiful, entirely hers. Then we prove that love isn't limited by distance, species, or expectations. We write our own story, in the endless dark of space, surrounded by infinite possibilities. They realized the greatest journey wasn't crossing galaxies, it was opening their hearts to one another. Marcus looked at her, the light of distant suns reflected in her silver eye. This, he thought, is what makes us human. To love not because it's logical, safe, or expected, but because it's necessary. Because some connections are stronger than fear, stronger than difference, stronger than anything else. In the end, it wasn't humanity's ships, weapons, or colonies that set them apart among the stars. It was their refusal to let anything, not even scars or masks, stand in the way of love, especially then.